Hello and welcome to our stories. There's titles and timestamps in the description. Let's begin with the first story with the title My boyfriend won't stop calling out for work. So I helped my boyfriend get this job like 1 to 1.5 months ago, and he's already called out 5 or 6 times in a month. I don't know how they didn't fire him yet, but every time he calls out, I try to explain to him that he needs to stop this. He needs to grow up and just go to work. His family will be so disappointed in him if he loses another job. He says he will start doing better, but then a week later calls out again. It's just pure laziness and he lies constantly about it. Sometimes he will say he was really sick or had super bad anxiety today, but I feel like it's all bullshit. I don't want to break up with him, but I just don't know what to do. I have to look out for my future as well, and I don't want to be with a bum. He still lives with his parents, and I don't know if it's just that he doesn't have many bills to pay, so he doesn't see the importance of going to work yet. Do you think I can get him to stop? If so, how? Or should I just end things? I just want the best for him. Your future will be coming home and him telling you that he's lost yet another job, and now you all will need to struggle until he gets another one. And the cycle will just repeat over and over. You don't have to live like that. Break up with him. Some people are self-motivated and others are not. It's not something you can force him to become. He's not a motivated person and it sounds like you are. Your relationship is doomed. My boyfriend told me to get over yourself when I asked for a hug. I've always been a person who enjoys physical intimacy, and it's a way for me to express my feelings for the person that I love. My boyfriend, on the other hand, only wants to have physical intimacy when we're having sex, and then he will tell me, "Alright, now leave me alone," and won't even cuddle. This has made me very sad, and I thought that he would care about my feelings enough to notice that I was feeling upset. But he literally didn't notice that I was acting differently for a week. Finally, I couldn't keep my emotions trapped inside, and I told him that the way he doesn't let me touch him or have any physical intimacy besides from sex has really affected me. I then told him that a hug would make me feel better, and he responded by chuckling and saying, "Get over yourself," before telling me to leave his place. And I did, and I cried in my car. We've been in a relationship for a year now, and he's someone who I really value, but I don't know how long I can go without physical intimacy. I really want to express my love for him, but he just says he hates cuddling and invasion of personal space. My ex-boyfriends loved cuddling to the point where they would ask me so much to where I would get a little annoyed, lol. But now this is a complete 180. What are some ways to make the physical part of our relationship as good as the rest of it? I'm not going to give you the advice you asked for, because it will be pointless. This is an incompatibility that can, though not always, be worked through. But I don't think it can be worked through with him. Why? Because his response to seeing someone he supposedly loves be upset and ask for something is to tell you to F off. That is not the mark of a good or loving partner. That is not that mark of someone who will work with you to create a good relationship. That, my friend, is the mark of an absolute butthole. Here's the thing, right? I had a guy like yours, I was with them for 3 years. I'm now dating someone who can't keep their hands off of me. They love to cuddle and always want to be around me. I love that part of them, but if I'm being honest, being with someone who actively didn't want to cuddle me or do anything other than criticize me really took its toll, where I have to relearn how to be okay with being affectionate again. Leave this guy, he doesn't value you or love you properly. My wife wants my son to move out and is threatening to leave. My son moved out for college last year. He completed 1 semester and then dropped out, stating that academia wasn't for him. He returned home and has been living here for the last 6 months. Currently, he is doing odd jobs and applying for something more stable while he figures things out. He helps out around the house and with his siblings. My wife said we need to give him a deadline to move out by. Now, I see that he's making progress. He's saving money for a deposit, he's looking for jobs, and I don't feel a hard deadline is necessary at this time. We have been arguing about this for the last 4 months. Saturday, my son's girlfriend spent the night in his room. She left at 6 in the morning yesterday, but my wife and I saw her because we are both early risers. She smiled and waved goodbye to us. It wasn't a big deal. My wife was pissed and confronted my son. She said he can't have girls, she's over 20 by the way, over at the house. And he said, okay. And that was the end of it. She said she doesn't trust him because he didn't argue the point. She wants him to leave and is threatening to go stay at a hotel with the kids if I don't give a hard deadline. Is there an option I'm not seeing here? I'm not kicking my kid out. I don't approve of many of his recent decisions, but he has not been disrespectful to me or my wife or inappropriate around his siblings. He's not keeping any drugs in the house. The only alcohol he has brought into the house is beer. He buys food for himself, he cooks, he cleans, but my wife says that she can't live like this. How do I make this easier for her, and what's a good compromise here? Ask her to be very concrete with her concerns. Not, I can't live like this. Specifically, what is her problem? When your wife comes up with the specifics, if she does, perhaps come up with a list of rules for living at home. It seems though that he already follows appropriate rules such as helping out, saving money, cleaning, etc. I suspect that she does not have any specifics, just wants him gone. But instead of wondering, you will know for sure where she's coming from. As the parent of a 19-year-old son, it sounds like your son is acting very mature and responsible, for what it's worth. A user quotes, "We have been arguing about this the last 4 months." What do these arguments entail exactly? I'd be curious to hear some of the points you've tried making to your wife in defense of letting your son stay at home. Which is definitely the right move, by the way. I have some ideas, but I mean, geez, after arguing for 4 months, I can imagine you've covered a lot of ground already. I wonder how willing she is to actually see your side. She says the house is too crowded. He's an adult now that needs to stand on his own 2 feet, and she feels like she's suffocating. I say he's my kid, 19 is an adult, but also still a teenager. And the house is no more crowded now than it was the last year before he graduated from high school. And that was all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.